President Putin would like to see a deal. I think if I weren't president, he would take over all of Ukraine. It's a war that should have never happened. If I weren't president, in my opinion, he would much rather take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
US President Donald Trump is confident Vladimir Putin won't mess him around ahead of the anticipated weekend summit in Alaska. But Ukrainians remain pessimistic about the outcome.
Alaska, it's where east meets west. Beneath its mountain ranges, it's where Trump meets Putin. Just a few miles of water separate this corner of the United States from Russia. At the sharp end of the Cold War, Alaska has known confrontation across the sea. Missile bunkers speak of history past as modern history plays out. The Russian bear at the back door, back in the fold. Time and Trump have warmed the Cold War chill. Next steps revolve around this summit. From the protagonists, the previews are in.
I
want to tell you about the stage we're at with the current American administration, which, as everyone knows, is making, in my opinion, quite energetic and sincere efforts to stop the hostilities, stop the crisis, and reach agreements that are of interest to all parties involved in this conflict, in order to create long-term conditions of peace between our countries, and in Europe and in the world as a whole.
The US president spoke at an Oval Office news conference.
I think it's going to be a good meeting, but the more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders along, maybe not. I don't know that it's going to be very important. We're going to see what happens. And I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great. If I weren't president, in my opinion, he would much rather take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
An F-15 marks the spot where he'll meet his Russian counterpart. Ahead of an unpredictable encounter at this US military base, European countries have laid down their red lines. Russia, they say, can't block Ukraine's path to the EU or NATO, and no ceasefire on Friday will mean fresh European sanctions. Donald Trump is making optimistic noises, but he's also stressing this may come to nothing. Playing down expectations plays to the man not at the table. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, uninvited and uneasy at the prospect of a deal struck in his absence that he can't accept.
I would like to have ceasefire.
Anna Yarova and her daughter Emilia are invested in the meeting down the road. They're Ukrainians among 1,300 in Alaska who sought refuge from their country's war.
The president of Ukraine wants to save the entire country of Ukraine, which makes sense. But I hope that President Trump will be able to have some positive influence. But I just don't know if that will be possible. I just have to hope. I have to.
You don't know if it will be possible. Why? What would be what's the concern?
Тому що ця війна затяглася дуже довго і
This war has been going on for so long, and it's been so terrible that I don't know if the president of Russia will want to stop it.
It is a view that reflects reservations widely held around this summit. There is hope, albeit clouded by expectation.